Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome as the XSLR Championship returns for round 14 and the second meeting of the Dirt Oval section here at Charlotte, live and exclusive on Apex Racing TV. Now, of course, Charlotte Motor Speedway is a complex located in Concord, North Carolina, about 13 miles just outside of Charlotte. And of course, the complex that features that 1.5-mile quad oval track, so synonymous for hosting NASCAR racing. Of course, the prestigious Coca-Cola 600 or Memorial Weekend and the Bank of America Roval 400. But today, we see the Dirt Midgets take to the Dirt Oval track for what's going to be some fast, frantic and exciting action. I'm Tim Cox. We've got Jonathan Browski in the production booth, but right now, as always, I'm joined by Adam Thompson. Adam, well, it was crazy. I think it's a good way to sum it up last week.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to get any less crazy here. I've run some laps with these guys throughout the week, and I expected with a bigger track it'd be easier to wheel these cars around, but with these midgets, they just want to turn in. They don't like long corners, and we're watching Bobby Ross right now, and he's actually handling it pretty well, but you can see just how much you've got to keep that car turned in left, right, just to get it around the corner. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are able to do this over 30 laps.
You see, I was just about to say how easy it is to get the car up onto three wheels, and Bobby Ross just showing it there, clocking up the inside front left wheel, and I mean even to get it up onto two wheels equally is easy as well. I mean, we were saying just before the show, I took the car out earlier today, and it's just absolute, what a riot it is to drive. I spent the whole time laughing and smiling. It's great fun, but incredibly challenging to handle. As well, we just see Jaden Darling there, just showing and reinforcing that point.
Yeah, so right now we're on board here with Jake Hamm, and while we got a chance, I'm a league admin in here, and I did not get the points to Apex quick enough. So I want to mention Jake Hamm and Paul Mikolajczyk. Or Jake Hamm and Josh Clogg. Jake Hamm is in second place right now in the points with 226. Josh Clogg is in third with 225. So there's still a bunch to play for. And then we go back to fifth between Jimmy Howitt and Bobby Ross. They're tied at 214 points for fifth and sixth, with Paul Mikolajczyk sitting in the middle at 219. So second through sixth place is all still to play for the rest of the season, for the rest of the dirt ovals. And one person that we've been saying their name a lot is not here tonight, and that would be Cam Peterson.
No, it's the Canadian who's had this championship completely to himself so far this season, and of course last time out at Limaland was his worst performance by a country mile, wasn't it? Finished not even on the podium, well outside the podium positions in the final.
Yeah, so I talked to him. He sent me a message before the race, said he wasn't going to make it. And I was like, oh, is that because of last weekend's result? I didn't tell him, but I was thinking that. Now I'm sure he's watching the stream going, oh, you son of a gun. But no, I think Cam definitely had some personal issues or personal problems going on, or he definitely would have been here. But it's going to be interesting to see. We also don't have Trey Garst in the field tonight, who was far and ahead the fastest guy on the track last weekend. So just keep an eye out going into this week. Eric Wittner, we're actually watching him right now. He's going to be quick. Tyler Coates, Paul Mikolajczyk, and Jimmy Howitt are all very quick. So we may have a battle for first place between 5 cars. I'm super excited to see it.
Yeah, most certainly. I think we all are, aren't we? It's going to be an interesting one. So he's going to come out victorious here at Charlotte on the Dirt Oval. Now, so we've got practice coming to an end. I'll give a shout to one of the many sponsors for this series. It's Dangerous. Dangerous are a top 3D visualization firm specializing in high-quality 3D product, CAD, ASICS rendering services, and photorealistic product visuals. They specialize in automotive subjects and have extensive industrial and consumer product design experience, and help you visualize, promote, and communicate your design by heading across to dangerous.net. That's Dangerous, R-U-S-S at the end, .net, to find out more about them. Adam, try to put your money where your mouth is. Who is going to come out victorious here today at Charlotte?
Don't do that to me, Tim. I would probably say if I had to put my money anywhere, please don't let me down, Jimmy. Please don't let me down. I'm going to put it down on Jimmy Howitt. He's right now 5th in practice, but I would have, before I run some practice races with these guys, I would have expected Eric Wittner or Paul Mikolajczyk to be the quickest. Yes, Eric Wittner did win the practice race we did, but Jimmy Howitt was on his tail the whole race. So I'm going to put it on Jimmy. Jimmy knows how to wheel these cars around. He's from a dirt racing background. Jim Perry Race Engines. He's one of the sponsors for XSLR. His family owns a 360 wingless sprint car, so he definitely knows how to get these cars around the track. So going to be interesting to see.
It definitely is indeed. And we're just going to head across to qualifying now. This is going to be over and done with it within a blink of an eye. The drivers have 2 laps, 2 flying laps as usual, to set down their fastest times. Get to find who is going to come out on top.
Keep an eye on how these guys take this qualifying lap. I can't tell what's quicker. So I tried, while I was qualifying, I tried to run the outside line first to get that run out of turn 4 to get a better lap 2 in. But it just doesn't, I don't know, because you just drive that car so hard into turn 1 that you slide up in between 1 and 2. And it tends to not make you as quick as you think. And we're going to see what Bobby can do. And he just holds it down to the inside to start his lap there. He is 16.75, which is way off the pace from what I've seen. I would be looking for some 16.5s, maybe 16.4s, but we're about to find out. Eric Wittner, 0.4 off the pace in lap 1. So yeah, we're going to see. And there's Mikolajczyk with a 16.5. I figured they'd be coming Wittner only 4/100ths of a second off. So yeah, here it comes.
I mean, if you look at our top 5 covered by under 0.2 of a second. That is how close it is here at Charlotte. I'm sure that's going to continue to be the theme of everything, because Schenkler just heads up into 6th place, 2/10 off the initial pole sitter that is Mikolajczyk as well. Tyler Coates, wow, how close is that? It's a 1,000th of a second away. It's so close. Our time it out only runs to 100th of a second. That is how close it is between our top 2.
Yeah,
I blink of an eye is a 1/3 of a second.
Here comes
Jimmy. Our top line's cover that.
So we'll see what Jimmy can do. Don't let me down here, Jimmy. Jimmy looks like he's taking a very good line outside to in. So we're going to find out if he can get a good run. If he's got to do that through turn 3 and 4. Turn 3 and 4 gets really bumpy, so be ready to see some cars starting to get a little bit upset. You can see him starting to get upset there as he entered the corner. We'll see what Jimmy can do here.
Because the timing being
Oh,
good enough for 4th.
so
Only
this
4th.
Yeah, this is where it's going to be. I mean, these top 5, like I kind of mentioned, with Bobby Ross in there, which was I didn't expect to see. But Coates, Mikolajczyk, Wittner, and Howitt, man, this race is going to be very close between these top 4 guys, probably top 5 actually. So, let's get this going. I'm so excited, and we still have 2 minutes left.
It's going to be, wow, like you say, I just can't wait for this to get going, because it's going to be absolutely epic. Of course, we've got the heat races. They are 8 laps long, which are 13 odd seconds. Well, 16 odd seconds is going to be over and done with the blink of an eye. But you grid for the first race. It's Tyler Coates and Eric Wittner on the front row, with Bobby Ross and Jerry DiPiero making up your second row, with Mike Sorum and Jake Hamm in 5th and 6th, and Kevin Irwin rounding out your field for Heat 1. As mentioned, 8 laps. 4 people get promoted to the final automatically. Remainder go from each of the heats go into the consolation final, with the chance of then getting promoted to the final, but only the winner will make it through from that. So everything counts, especially as we saw last time out of Lima Land, didn't we? That the opening lap is so crucial to get the jump on the people around you and try and make some progress.
It is, and I would pay special attention to where this pace truck comes in. This is this league is go on green, and this pace truck comes in on the backstretch. So the leaders have to hold, especially that inside line. Tyler Coates is going to have to hold 35 miles an hour until it goes green, and it doesn't go green until you exit turn 4. So these guys are really going to have to watch their speed, and I'm just worried that if they start watching their speed too much, they may not get that jump when the lights do turn green, as everybody kind of falls down to the inside of the track. These dirt midgets are meant to turn left and not right. So you can kind of see Tyler's getting a bit of a siding lap in, I guess is what you'd call it. He's going to pop back in line, I think. But yeah, so this is going to be interesting. We will see this pace truck come in on the backstretch. They're going to have to hold this, and the heat races have no cautions, so these guys have to be very careful around each other.
They certainly do indeed. Of course, the final that does have cautions in, that is 30 laps long. That's as we saw last time, of course, you know, we did go yellow a few times, and it was going to be no different. But right now, it's all about Heat 1 and who's going to come out on top. Just have a quick mention of one of our other sponsors, Sheer Salon, located in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Sheer Salon, trust your peers and come to Shears. You can find out more about them by heading to Facebook and searching for Samantha at Sheers Salon. Let's just wait for come around out of turn 4. Tyler Coates controlling the pace of the field right now. And we get ready to go racing here at Charlotte.
That was a good start by Wittner. Is Tyler going to hold that bottom line, or is he going to try to slide up in front of Wittner? I don't think he is. He's going to hold. Is he going to be able to get up in front? Nope. Tyler's going to leave Wittner the space, man. This is really what you have to do if you're on that bottom line. You've got to find a way to get up in front of that car on the high line, because Wittner, that is a slower line up there, but he's got so much of a better run on corner exit. Looks like Tyler's holding it down there, though.
I tell you what, look who's right behind him, the pink car. Mike saw him. He's on a cracking start. He's made up a place already. Likewise is Jake Hamm, Joe DiPiero. He's dropped 2 places into 6, so he's dropped out of the automatic qualification places for the final. So we've got 6 to go here. And wow, I tell you what, Tyler Coates has really started to control this one and pull away ever so slightly. He is bringing Aaron Wittner along for the ride with him, and they're starting to drop Ross and Saw him. You can see him just behind those two battling at the back of the shop.
I forgot to mention Mike Sorum. I don't know why. I'm sure I'm going to hear about it after the race. Mike Sorum knows how to drive these cars. He's going to get a drive down the inside. Let's watch. He may throw a pretty nasty slider here on Bobby Ross. He does. We'll see if Bobby can get back down below him. He does. So we're going to see some back and forth here between these drivers. Watch Mike now. Nope, Bobby holds that inside line. It looks like Mike's going to have that position complete, or that pass completed. As I say that, oh my goodness, Bobby is still holding it down there on the inside, Tim.
Well, you can see just the pace. You get the slingshot of being able to get on the accelerator so much earlier from taking that high line. That's what's holding Mike Sorum in this position at the moment as he swoops down on this contact. They've got away with it somehow. That's, well, based on what we saw last week at Lima, that is amazing. But I'll tell you what, it has now cemented that 3rd place for Sorum. Final lap, the white flag flies. 1 lap left here in Heat 1. And Tyler Coates, well, now half a second clear of Wittner. And those two are looking safe at the front. It's whether Ross can hold on to that 4th place. I'm just looking at the background. I think he's just about going to. Coates takes it from Wittner, Sorum, and Ross. They are the drivers automatically through. With DiPiero, Hamm, and Irwin making up the rest of the field here from Heat 1.
I know this is going to ask a lot from Jonathan, but if there's any way we could get a replay of that slide job from Mike on Bobby, it's no problem, but that was an amazing move by Mike and great awareness by Bobby to stay out of Mike's rear bumper and head it back down to the inside. But here we go for Heat 2. I'll go ahead and take it away because I'm already talking, Tim. We got Paul Mikolajczyk there in 1st place with Jimmy Howitt in 2nd, Josh Klog 3rd, Robert Schwenkler 4th, Brendan Horan 5th, and Jaden Darling 6th. Keep in mind, we did mention those for the top 4 move on. We don't have more than 15 drivers tonight, so everybody's going to make the feature.
That's good to know. That's good to know. We're like a nicely packed out field for the grand final as they head out behind this the safety truck once again. And wow, I think this is going to be interesting, you know, it's 6 cars dueling out for a short race, and I mean, we saw just how close it was in Heat 1. We saw it all last week as well. One tiny mistake from one person is going to cost them so dearly.
It is, and look at those top 2. You got Jimmy Howitt and Paul Mikolajczyk there in 1 and 2, but on that second row with Josh Klog and Robert Schwenkler, Robert has gotten much better, as has Josh. It's just going to come into play the consistency side of it, and you know, I don't know, no matter how consistent you are, I would say that the top 2 drivers here between Jimmy and Paul are probably the fastest in this heat, and they are the most consistent. But when it comes to racing these cars, it is just so hard.
I completely and utterly second that thought. It is really a real challenge trying to control these absolute beasts that are packed full of personality as we get ready to go racing here in Heat 2 as they exit out of turn 4. Howard and Mikolajczyk controlling the pace, and we are away. We're green, 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 and Mikolajczyk, what a start from him. He catapulted off into the distance there, but look, here comes Klog. He's going to try and slide up on the low side there against Howard. Howard having none of it. And time got Schenkler, Huron, they're having a good old battle in the background there. Everyone just remaining as they were off the start.
Robert's going to have to hold that down to the inside on, who is that?
That's Klog.
Wow, Schwenkler's actually made a move here. Oh! Woo! That was close.
Wow.
Schwenkler makes it stick, and he's up into third. And there's Horan back beside. Oh, no!
Oh, it's all gone wrong for Klog, and he's right down to the back of the field. Well, him and Darling both having a sympathetic moment of losing the rear end in synchronicity there. But, wow, Schenkler, what a move. And to get the move done and to prevent Klog coming back at him, he saw the way he just slammed the door right in Klog's face. And that's what cost him dearly, allowed her to then come on the attack and get himself up into 4th. But
that is about as close as you can get to a slide job. I keep mentioning that, and I promise you I will continue to mention that because that's how the passes are made. That's about as close of a slide job as you can make work without actually getting into the person that you're racing, and that was Schwenkler on Klog, and it looks like Brennan probably just got up a little bit into the high line. But we do have this race here for first. Jimmy's definitely running a bit of a higher line. If he can get close enough to Mikolajczyk, he might be able to run that high line for a lap and get down below Mikolajczyk to make the pass, but it looks like Jimmy's just going to hold on there for in second.
It looks that way. We've got 2 to go here in Heat 2. I tell you what, Howard, he is catching, isn't he? The gap is definitely shrinking. It's not just me. You can see it from the timing tower on the left-hand side. 1 lap left to go here. The white flag is firmly out, and, well, even it's going to take some absolutely biblical magic. Oh, Baron Huron, he's lost the place to Josh Klog.
Oh, my goodness.
From left to the side.
Yeah, what happened there to Brennan? Anyways, it looks like he makes it across the line there in 5th place, and that's okay. All of these drivers will advance to the feature, which is coming at us right now.
Go with here is your grid for the feature. It is Tyler Coates with Mikolajczyk on the front row, Wittner and Howard on the second row of the grid with Storm and Schenkler making it your 3rd row, Ross and Klog on the 4th row with DiPiero and Huron taking up to 10th place on the 5th row of the grid. There's Jake Hamm with Jaden Darling alongside him for company, and Kevin Irwin rounding out your field here. Now, another shout out to another one of our marvelous sponsors for this series, the Chet Duranek Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is a non-profit, volunteer-fueled organisation dedicated to finding cures for Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, and improving the quality of life of children and adults affected by these diseases. You can find more about them by heading across to crohn'scolitisfoundation.org. Just waiting for, but everyone's on the grid, just waiting to pull away, and we'll get ready for what's going to be a, well, I'm sure it's going to be yet another barnstormer. As mentioned, we've got 30 laps in this grand final. A bit of argy-bargy already going on there on their pace lap. Of course, we have got yellows as well, full course caution, so keep an eye out for those, and that's going to allow the field to really bunch up. And as we saw last week, cautions, precautions, don't they, Adam?
Yes, they do, and I am so glad you said the word argy-bargy. I mean, you don't hear argy-bargy that much when we're running dirt ovals over here in, I would say, the best country in the world, but we're not going to go here nor there. But no, anyways, this is going to be interesting for sure. So the last 10 laps will be single file if a caution comes out within the last 10, but up until that point, all restarts will be double file. So if we get a caution on lap 1, I hate to say it, but I would be ready. And Jonathan, your job is about to get very tough again because like you said, cautions do breed cautions.
Well, we just wait. The truck has peeled off. Coates and Mikolajczyk control the pace as they exit out of turn 4. We're getting ready to go racing for the final race of today. Who's going to come out victorious? Here is Charlotte. Let's find out as we are green and we are away. And I tell you what, how...
Rewind!
Tyler Coates. He took that low line.
Yeah, it looks like he tires off that tire there on the inside. And unlike Limaland, as you would call it, I would say Limaland, Tim, it looks like on that start, those tires don't move like they do. You can drive over them at Limaland. Tyler just, oh my goodness. Oh, oof. Hopefully he's not in VR.
To be honest with you, I'm amazed he actually landed on his wheels. I think that deserves a worthy mention just in itself. Although he has headed to the pits, hasn't he?
Yeah, you could see the damage there on the front end of his car. It looks like he was crabbing pretty bad down that backstretch. So these cars can take a lot of damage. We were bouncing these things off the walls in practice, just obviously not purposely, but just trying to learn how these cars drive, and they can take a lot of damage. But a flip, and then I think he got hit by Brennan Horn as well. That probably messed up a bit of the suspension characteristics of that car, and he's going to have to go into the... No, he's still out.
Well, he has come back out again, and he still kept himself on the lead lap as well, actually. So that's tough to Tyler Coates there, but he is now right down the back of the field after what was an absolutely commanding start to really just, slingshot himself into taking the whole shot here, Charlotte. But now he's got his work cut out for the field. Wow,
look at Wittner up there in second place. He must have made a move there on Jimmy while we watched Tyler go flipping. I don't know if Jimmy had to get a little bit defensive to get out of the way at for Tyler, but nonetheless, here we go. And just an FYI to all the viewers, the overlay does not recognize caution laps not counting, so it is going to go in. We're going to be on lap 30 before the race actually ends.
Okay, so let's find out who's going to come out on top as we're green once again here in North Carolina, and Mikolajczyk really in a rugged dogfight with Wittner, but here comes Howard. Oh no!
My goodness!
DPR and Irwin, and I've got the truck back out again.
That one looked pretty abrupt.
There was someone else involved there. It's not just me, is it? I think there was a few other.
So what happens here? Jake, they're trying to go 3 wide, which will never work. And it, oh man, oh no. About half the field involved there on that one, Tim.
It was, as you said, it was going 3 wide, plus then, the natural, where we were so compact and so tight in the midfield there, just caused that buffeting. Oh, you know it's coming. I can't quite... was it Jaden Darling who potentially started that one off? I'm not too sure, but either way.
Whoever was on the low line came up across about 4 cars to make contact with who I think was Josh Clogg. And that just caused chaos back behind him. Nobody... I mean, you're already 3 wide, and that was very impressive for those guys when I said they couldn't take it 3 wide. I think they would have had that. with the exception of that car coming from the low line and up into whoever was on top of them. But it's neither here nor there. Depends on how much damage everybody has. There are 2 quick repairs tonight, and you can get in and out of the pits with caution laps not counting still on the lead lap.
But I always bring you back to it. You know, you say about not being able to go 3 wide. Never forget. Brands Hatch in the dirt road section. You said it. You couldn't overtake around the outside into turn 1, and Paul Mikolajczyk said, "Hold my beer. Watch this." Yep. And did it twice, I do believe.
Yeah, at least twice. So thank you for reminding me about that one,
That's
Tim.
Right.
But we are actually watching Paul Mikolajczyk and Eric Wittner up here at the front, and Wittner gets a great start, but Mike Sorum's going to be down there on the inside line with Jimmy Howitt, and it looks like Mike's going to hold that inside line for now. With these 2 drivers racing behind them, this is going to allow Paul Mikolajczyk and Eric Wittner to get the space that they need, but it looks like Paul's going to actually start racing Eric here.
I'll tell you what, Mike Sorum, what a restart for him. He's absolutely catapulted himself up through the field. Well, he's just lost out to Howard now. He's just trying to slide the car around, and there's contact between himself and Howard. And that's going to it's going to give that 3rd place, the 69 of Sorum. And Howard now, he's got Schenkler and Ross, who looks in their own fight, tucked up right behind him. And that might actually pay into Howard's favour right now as, Ross just runs it out a bit wide. Loses the rear end.
Schwenkler thought about a slide job there. Now you got Josh Clog down there on the inside of Robert Schwenkler, but just barely avoided a catastrophe. Schwenkler now does have that. He's getting to the back of him. Oh, no.
And the 45 at Brendan Huron involved. He's on his roof. And we're going to see the safety truck out once more.
So the thing you have to understand in these dirt cars, and Bobby Ross is a very, very good road racer. As we're going to watch this replay, it looks like from Brendan Horan's angle. With Bobby being a very good road racer, you have to understand that these slide jobs are coming. You've got to know. You've got to have awareness. Oh, Brendan had nowhere to go. Oh, poor guy. Oh, as he goes flipping down the track.
It was just the innocent bystander in that, you know, when you're coming in full chat into a corner, you know, you've got the car on its, you know, the ragged edge of, you know, losing the rear end. You can't make any adjustments, and Brandon, you've got a feel for him. He was just a complete innocent bystander and a passenger in that situation. As I imagine I've got Kevin when he's back out on track after visiting the pits due to that earlier issue, although due to the amount he was stationary, I think he has dropped a lap down, currently in 13th place. He has, yes. And Brennan Huron, we're going to keep an eye on him to make sure he comes back out on the lead lap, although I get the feeling potentially he's going to actually fall a lap down himself as well.
Yeah, so when it comes to iRacing not counting cautions, it throws the timing for an absolute loop. As you can see, all of these drivers just switching around down there. So there's really no way to tell if he's going to come out. He shouldn't. With caution laps not counting, Brendan Horn should still be on the lead lap, but we're about to find out.
Still in the pits, according to our software. So there he is. Yes, he is. So there's the safety truck pulling in right next to him. We get ready to go green once more. Wittner and Mikolajczyk at the front again.
Keep an eye on that pink car.
Well, Mike Sorum, the master of the restarts. What can he do at this time? Can he keep hold of that third place? Can he even mix things up with our top two, who are locked into a right royal battle?
Oh, another slide job by Mike, and he makes it work barely. Jimmy had to have let off the gas there, but he makes it work, and they're piling up behind him. It's Josh Clog trying to hold on to it down there on the inside. I'm sorry, Tim, I keep cutting you off, but
yeah,
my
it's
goodness,
all right.
the racing.
It is, isn't it? I mean, that's the trouble. It's, you know, it's a concertina effect, like you get on the freeway, isn't it? When someone breaks ahead, it just the whole field, you know, pack of cars all compacts up without people having to over brake, and it's so close to having an incident. But Howard, I tell you what, that high line is really working for him right now, because he's managed to get himself in front of Sorum, I think, pretty much. And I tell you what, he's really on the attack and closing in on Wittner, who's actually got ahead of Mikolajczyk for the first time tonight. And Howard's making this a freeway fight.
That high line is really starting to come in. I wonder, I mean, he was racing Sorum there, so you wonder if Howard's going to try to keep staying on that high line. No, he is definitely backing down, and Schwenkler, Sorum is starting to really fall back all of a sudden. We'll see if Schwenkler can make this low sideline work, and it doesn't look like quite yet. But yeah, so Howard is really keeping up with these top two, which is I expected to see. It's just going to see. It really is going to be difficult. I obviously said how it was going to win this race, but he's going to have to get by two very, very quick drivers of Eric Wittner and Paul Mikolajczyk up front. But oh my goodness, back here these guys are battling.
I tell you what, I like Sorum there, going for a bit of the old Scandinavian flick to get it into turn one, and really worked for him there. But as you mentioned, these three have been tripping up over one another. That's Schenkler, Coates, and Ross. Of course, Coates, after what was an epic start, catching that time on the inside, found through the field. He has got it back up into 6th place, so recovering well. And I'll tell you what, he is attacking the back of Robert Schenkler like an absolute...
Oh, no! Oh, my goodness! Oh. Man, I didn't commentators curse him, but I was about to, because I did want to mention that Robert Schwenkler and Tyler Coates are the two that came together in Lima Land when Schwenkler came bouncing back across the track. And I was about to say, I'm glad that's not happening again. Well, it just did. And that was Schwenkler, I think, just getting a little bit wide. You catch the wall with the right rear tire of these cars, as we're about to see, and it will just launch you up into, it'll just slam your right front right into the wall. It gets high, bang.
And that's the deceptive thing about these cars, well, as it is with quite a few of them, actually, the oval cars, that the cockpit is offset to the left-hand side of the chassis. It's not, you're not sat truly in the middle, so it can get a little bit deceptive, especially where you're concentrating so much on that inside line and looking towards the corner ahead of you. You forget about what the right rear is doing and where it is in relation to the wall, and it's so easy to catch it on the wall.
It really is. But back here to the leader, if I was restarting this race, I would want to be on the inside line where Wittner is. I believe Jimmy Howitt has the pace. He may on this restart be able to get side by side with Mikolajczyk because of that inside line and how much faster that inside line is, especially at slow speeds. So keep an eye out for Mikolajczyk. Keep an eye out for Mike Sorum as well. Maybe be able to take a couple positions here. Mikolajczyk is not in the best of positions at the moment.
I tell you what, it's getting really feisty over, the fight to get the best possible start in that midfield. You see them all jostling for position. But I tell you what, we are green once more, and Wittner leads us away. And wow, what a start from him. Sorum on the outside there, but that's not going to work out too. Oh no, this one off.
Is that Robert Schwenkler again?
I think it is, isn't it? He tried to get out of the way and to do the right thing. You could see the pack coming through where he just managed to get out in front of the pack as they were coming around, and wow. And in doing so, ended up in the wall. Here we go. So they're the two back markers heading out.
Oh, he does a little bit of a wheelie. Does it? He's doing okay. Gets through turn 1 and 2. Seemingly okay, maybe. Yeah. Oh, nope. Lost it again. The exact same thing that he did to put him into the pits the first time.
I tell you what, was it the 45 of Brennan Huron as well, caught up in a bit of a midfield jostle there, and him spinning. Let's take a look at how that played out. Yeah, so he was another driver who came out of the pit, finding a little divot there in the floor of the track.
Yeah, what happens to him? You know what? I wonder if these guys, when they went into the pits to get their quick repair, I wonder if they refueled and these cars are back on heavy fuel again and they just don't expect after they've been driving them on lighter fuel. The rear end tries to walk out a little more than it normally does.
No, I think he's got away with it, maybe. There was definitely one of the other cars. I'm not too sure who it was, but, well, I'm sure we'll find out post-race when we have a bit of a chat with the drivers. But the truck is in once again as we come around turns 3 and 4. Let's get ready to go racing once more.
These top 5. These top 6, I am so excited to see how these guys navigate all of this, because you've got Tyler Coates back up there in 6th position. Bobby Ross, I did not expect him to be up there battling these guys, but Jimmy Howitt and Mike Sorum, I did expect. Jimmy's going to get a great run. He's going to get up in front of Mike, but now Paul's going to go for a move up there on Eric Wittner for first. This is going to be interesting as they're battling. Jimmy's going to get a run.
I'll tell you what we've seen from Jimmy earlier, that higher line is definitely the power play at the moment, and Wittner is currently in that position, utilising that higher line, but you see Mikolajczyk there sliding the car out, trying to get out onto that higher line and to mount an attack onto Wittner, but also trying to fend off the advances of Jimmy Howard, who is right behind him and desperate. Oh,
my goodness!
Down the midfield. This is incredibly close. We've got Jake Hamm, he's got Darling ahead of him. He's pulling away a little bit from Bobby Ross, who is behind them. They all separate themselves out after being right on top of one another. But I'll tell you what, they're right back in together once more. These top guys. Wittner starting to get some breathing space. And Mikolajczyk behind him is, well, Jimmy Howitt's all over him like a rash right now, isn't he, Adam?
He is. I kind of want to know what happened to Bobby Ross. He was in 6th position. He lost 3 positions on that start, but looks like Jimmy's going to be able to get a bit of a run down the inside here on Mikolajczyk. Mikolajczyk's going to have to go a little bit defensive and may slide up the track just a little bit, and this is going to be Jimmy's chance really to make a move here on Paul Mikolajczyk, because there's another caution. That was Mike Sorum. Oh, you've got to feel for Mike. He had such strong running early on in the race and in the heat as well. Let's see, is he caught one of those tyres? No. Was a lap car of Kevin.
Oh, no, he just lost the rear end, didn't he?
Yeah. Josh Clogg there. It looks like he was trying to get around Kevin Irwin. And it is extremely tough to pass if you know you can't run a slide job. These cars are just so unreliable, like the under braking, that you just don't really know exactly what's going to happen if you do have to try to go slower than these cars want to go. And you saw that with Mike, just got sideways and Josh Clogg had nowhere to go. It's unfortunate for Mike. I think he got out of that without a whole lot of damage, though. And it's going to be able to put him hopefully back up into a position. No, he's back there in 9th. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Now you've got those top 4 drivers that I figured would be up there with Wittner, Mikolajczyk, Howitt, and Coates.
Well, I tell you what, a big shout out to Jaden Darling, who started last but one and now finds himself in 6th place, up 6 positions so far. He's had a cracking start. I mean, now this is where it gets tricky, doesn't it? Of course, because we're within the last 10 laps, so the restart will be single file rather than 2 abreast. This is where it becomes a little bit more challenging, and our drivers have to really think about how they manage this restart and how they make their attacks.
Yeah, this is when it's going to start getting interesting. These are all going to be single file restarts from here on out. So it's going to be tough for maybe Paul to make a move unless he can get a better jump on Eric. With Eric, obviously, all these guys go on green, so it's really going to come out to reaction times. If Paul can get down below Eric, that could leave a gap open for Jimmy as these two fight. So it's just going to be interesting. Eric does get a great start. Where did Tyler Coates come from?
What a launch on the restart. And Coates caught absolutely everyone napping there, finding some pace on that low line right now. Mikolajczyk pulling alongside it. Wittner and Jimmy Howard remaining in 3rd. But I'll tell you what, Tyler Coates, what a restart from it. He appeared like from nowhere there.
That was a very impressive restart from Tyler. He's going to hold that 4th position. You got 6 to go. And keep an eye on these top 3. Jimmy Howitt seems to be just that much quicker. He's taking a different line just a little bit. It looks like the Paul Mikolajczyk, because these two are going to start battling it is going to bring these, oh my goodness, Tyler Coates and Jimmy right back up into the battle. So this race is not over yet by any means.
Well, let's not forget, Tyler Coates started on pole. It's taken him, some 26 laps to get back to the front again, but he is right in the fight in that 4:07 once again. And can Wittner hold out? He's got 3 laps remaining. What has Mikolajczyk got up his sleeve to pounce on Wittner? Oh, we've gone yellow again.
This is not what Wittner wants to see right now. This is absolutely not what Wittner wanted to see, especially when you see Tyler Coates get a run like he did on that last restart. And now these guys know there's 2 to go in the race. This is when it's going to be all out on the restart. I don't know. No holds barred here. But you're going to see what happened to Jaden. Wow, he just starts getting way out of sorts.
Oh, loses the rear end of that 81. And that's enough to trigger the full course yellow. And once again, we are under caution here at Charlotte on the dirt oval track. Wow. I think time for a deep breath, isn't it, Adam? Because
yeah, I would hold on.
Big moment for Wittner.
If I were these guys in the top 3, I'd be happy with where I was. Tyler Coates started on the pole. I would expect him to make a move on this restart if he can, because Tyler, whenever you start on the pole and then you finish out of the podium, that's not what you want. So be ready, because we're maybe about to see a move that we haven't seen quite yet. We did see Tyler get a heck of a start last time, but he pulled out of it right at the end. I wouldn't expect Tyler to do that this time with 2 to go.
No, it's going to take a big, bold move from Coates if he's to pull this one out of the bag with a victory. So the pace truck comes around. I'm just going to pull in, and we get ready to go racing for what could well be the final time here in the finale from the dirt oval at Charlotte. Who is going to come out top? Well, it's going to be between our top 4, surely. Wittner, Mikolajczyk, Howard, and Coates. Probably our top 2. Mikolajczyk just giving Wittner a bit of the hurry up there, a bit of a nudge to get on with it. He wants to go racing, and we're green, green, green. And
here
wow,
it comes again.
Whoa, he is the master of the restarts.
Oh,
Jimmy Howard.
no!
No, that's Sorum. Are we going to go yellow once again? No, we're not. Somehow we've managed to keep going. Despite Sorum finding the wall, we're on to the final lap. Can Wittner hold on as he rounds turns 1 and 2? It's just a straight...
Howard's going to get a move. He's going to make a move, though.
Oh, what can Howard do? He's on that high line. He's going to get the catapult, the momentum. Is he going to get him on the race to the line? No.
Oh, my goodness. Woo. Oh, Jimmy let me down, unfortunately, but he still did make that podium position. But I just want to talk about Tyler Coates. Those restarts, the last 2 that we saw were impressive. He's got a little spinner. There he goes. Oh, yeah.
There we go. He is off. Practically dancing the cart around. I mean, at the line, Adam, 0.07 of a second is what separated Mikolajczyk and Hauer. 0.07 of a second. That's cigarette papers style sort of finish here, and let's just run you through your results quickly. So Wittner taking the victory here in North Carolina with Mikolajczyk in 2nd, Jimmy Howard 3rd, but wow, incredibly close stuff between him and Mikolajczyk. Tyler Coates in the end has to settle 4th, but an incredible drive considering he's what caused the first caution with that collision with one of the tyres on the opening lap after a great start. So a great recovery to come right from the back of the field up to 4th. Josh Clogg in 5th. Hamm 6th. Bobby Ross was 7th. Jaden Darling 8th. Mike Sorum, the first driver's lap down in 9th with Brendan Huron, Josie Piero, Kevin Irwin and Robert Schrenkler rounding out our field.
I am so proud of these guys, to be honest. The racing that we saw, there were some cautions, but to be honest, Tim, you've driven this car, as have I now. It's just these cars are so difficult to handle, and in the close racing we saw with how hard these cars are to drive, it's really impressive by all these guys.
I mean, driving this car, I would say, is like trying to get your drunken friend up a tight flight of stairs while being attacked by a lion. It's just it wants to kill you at every which moment. It's relentless. There's no two ways about it.
No, you are so on the point there. It's just, I cannot wait to talk to these guys. Eric Wittner, I mean, we'll see how calm he sounds. Obviously, the winner being Eric, but man, you know he had to have been sweating under those restarts.
Most certainly, he's got to have been. Definitely, all the pressure was on him to hold it together, and he did with every which one of them. Mentioned to one of our other sponsors who we haven't mentioned yet tonight, Nexus Fab. Nexus Fabrication specialise in metal fabrication and manufacturing for commercial, residential and custom projects, as well as signage, furniture and metal repair work. You can find out more about them by heading to nexusfab.com. And Adam, I believe you're standing by with one of our drivers. Oh, a bit of silence there. Let's have a bit of a grab of... I'll grab one of our drivers. Let's have a check. See, second place driver, Paul Mikolajczyk. Paul, wow, what a race. That was a real tough battle, but at least it looked like that from the commentary booth between yourself and Eric Wittner.
Yeah, I almost had him that one time, but it's really hard to pass, like at all, unless there's like it gets really slicked off.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely appeared that way. I mean, you two were locked in an absolutely epic tussle from start to finish. I mean, you could see that you were trying the inside line, the outside line, and it just couldn't seem to work for you. I mean, we were a bit relieved, obviously, that open lap. We're just seeing a replay of it on screen right now when, obviously, Tyler Coates, you know, he got that great start and unfortunately lost it into turn one, but that at least, you know, made you only had, you know, one less person to have to fight for the victory and the podium with.
Yeah, that was probably the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. I probably laughed for a solid 2 straight minutes until the next green flag. It was nice to see because obviously he was out of the race.
It was oh wow, it was so unlucky. I mean, in the end, a great recovery drive from him. Now, obviously, I know we've got a bit of a week off. We're heading, well, I'm trying to think where we're heading. I
think Lernerville.
We are indeed. You've beat me to it on that one. Have you had a chance to practice the track yet? Any thoughts on that one?
I've done laps there in sprint cars and modifieds, but never in a midget. So, gonna get ready to see some people flying off the track.
Definitely, it's I think gonna be an interesting one. And before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Adam for putting this on. I think I say that every single time I get interviewed.
Oh, thank you.
Myself for driving the car. That's about it.
Oh, that's no problem. That's Paul Mikolajczyk. They finished second here today at Charlotte. Now, Adam, I believe you're standing by with another one of our drivers.
I am now. I've got Jimmy Howitt here. Finished third place, Jimmy. I was actually just watching that replay. I saw Eric kind of cut the nose off you there a little bit, but you guys were able to keep going. Explain to me the race. Explain to me how hard it was to pass, and explain to me those restarts by Tyler Coates at the end of the race. My goodness.
Yeah, they were pretty crazy. The track was actually not that bad. In practice, it was a lot more gnarly than this, but it was pretty nice during the race. And the passing, it was pretty hard to do because it became a one-lane race. And I did not see Tyler's restarts considering he was behind me after hitting that damn tire in lap 1, turn 1.
Yeah, we were actually just bringing that up. Tim was just talking to Paul about Tyler hitting that tire. He definitely had the pace, and he was actually finished right behind you, but man, some of those single file restarts we saw there at the end of the race, Tyler was getting a heck of a jump on those top three, and going into turn one, you and him were battling. Do you think if you did not have to watch out for a guy going side by side with you into one, you think you would have been able to have Paul? Because it seems like you did have a bit of a better line through some of the corners.
Yeah, no, I wasn't too concerned with Tyler most of the time. I was just waiting for Paul to miss some of the turns like he was doing, but if I'd have had 2 more laps, I feel like I would have had him. But
Oh,
he figured it out on the last lap.
so we got Lernerville coming up, Jimmy.
Ooh, I like that one.
We've all driven it. We all know exactly what you can do. If you like to go hunting and fishing, you can drive off the track and go flying off into the woods. So bring your gun and your fishing pole. But are you ready for that track? Have you run that track that much in these midgets? And where do you think you're going to be able to finish there? We actually see a win?
Maybe. Depends on how much practice I get before I leave this weekend and get drunk as hell.
Before I gotta let Jimmy know that I have a bachelor party coming up next weekend, and Jimmy's coming down to Arizona to see me. But Jimmy, thank you very much for your time, man. Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out for before we let you go?
Yeah, just I'd be 4th place if it wasn't for a certain place tractor tire, so I just want to shout out that tire, and that's it.
All right, Jimmy. Thank you very much, and I think that'll end our interview with Jimmy Howitt, 3rd place.
All right, later.
Well, there you go, the one and only Jimmy Howard, I think is a good way to describe that one. A pleasure as always. Adam, I'll let you grab the last interview.
All right, we got Eric Wittner here. Eric, congratulations on your 1st place, man. I know you had a few battles up there with Paul, but seems like you really had it under control most of the race.
Yeah, man, it was hard. Sometimes I'd make little mistakes, get too sideways coming off 3 and 4. And I mean, Paul was good through 3 and 4 on the bottom. 1 and 2, I gapped him a lot of corners. It was just till that racing surface got pretty racy to a point where me and him can really work with each other. I mean, we've been practicing all week just to have some fun. So
yeah, well, it looks like you guys definitely had some of that fun. So we have mentioned, Paul and Jimmy both have mentioned a tractor tire there on the inside line of turn 1. How much did that help your race? And do you think you would have had a battle with Tyler if he didn't hit that tire?
I mean, that changes the course of the whole race, right? So I would have been up there maybe with Tyler, like my heat race. Who knows if the race surface would have gotten racy enough. I mean, he worked his way back up to 4th from the back after that incident. So, I mean, it would have been maybe a battle. It would have maybe not been. It all depends on, we started running those better laps faster and sooner. Like, I started running better laps than Paul sooner than he did. That's when I started gaining time on him, pulling away.
So we've got Lernerville coming up here, Eric, and I mentioned to Jimmy, if you like to go hunting, that'll be the place to do it. On the exits of both the corners, you can find your way off into the woods. So have you gotten much practice there at Lernerville in these cars yet, and how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I haven't taken a look at Lernerville. I mean, I've had a couple wins there in a wing sprint car through officials and other leagues, but I haven't handled the midgets at Lernerville yet. Should be a lot of fun. Seems like it'd be a great track for a midget, so that's to come.
Well, I am super excited and looking forward to that track. First track we've run where maybe ripping the lip, even in these midgets, might actually come into play, hopefully. But with that being said, Eric, anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks for you guys streaming. Thanks for my Paul getting me in here and just having a fun time racing here. I got to thank, the guys on my racing team over at JRB, I know they do all wing sprints and stuff. They barely touch midgets, but ABR Setup Shop and those guys over there, they've all helped me along my way, learning through dirt and everything. It's been a great old time.
Well, it sounds like they've got themselves a new driver if they want to ever venture into the dirt midget portion, because you have definitely been the class of the field tonight, Eric. But thank you so much for the interview, and we hope to talk to you next time.
Yep, thank you.
It was Eric Wittner there in first place. So, Tim, before I shut up, I just want to say thank you to Apex as well for broadcasting these races, and thank you to Jonathan for being able to keep up with some of the chaos that has gone on. But thank you, Tim, for being in England and trying to understand how us Americans like to get on over here turning left. And I hope we've given you a little bit of an insight. Maybe you might start watching some dirt races here.
Well, it's always been a little bit of a unannounced dirty pleasure. Excuse the pun, being dirt racing as well. It's always something, as Brits, we watch us on YouTube of, that looks completely and utterly bonkers. And the sim racing version has fully and well and truly lived up to that expectation and hype. And I've got to admit, Adam, I'm a little bit sad because we've got 2 rounds left and then we're done and dusted for the season, and it's been an absolutely epic season, highs and lows, drama from start to finish in all the different disciplines. And well, I think we get that battle for second place is just getting the championship. It's just getting hotter and hotter the closer we get to the final round.
Yeah, to all the viewers, I do want to let you know that I promise you, before we get into race 3 of our dirt oval session, I'll make sure to get these points in an orderly fashion to Apex so we can get them pulled up on the stream. But they are going to be very, very close with 2 races to go. We all know Cam Peterson has locked it up. Obviously been the class of the field throughout most of the races here at XSLR. But be ready for a barn burner from 2nd through 6th place. I don't know if the points really changed that much. I don't really know if people got gaps that they didn't have before. It's it's going to be an absolute blast to cover these last 2 for sure.
It definitely is, and got a slight break. We're worried for a week due to Easter. Apparently that's going to get in the way of our racing, unfortunately, so we have to wait 2 weeks time for the next round of the championship in what is the penultimate round for Lernerville. It's going to be an absolute classic, so make sure you tune in for that one. I've been Tim Cox with Adam Thompson and Jared Fabrowski here at Apex Racing TV. Have a good evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time when the XSLR Championship returns.